TK1636, and I'm in the last armor that needs to be glued together. It's going to be the back and the yoke. Right now I'm just showing you this yoke is really long. I might have to trim it because this is probably going to dig into whoever's wearing it. So I'm going to need the guy that I'm building it for here so I can see where I need to trim it, where I need to put the Velcro on the side. I've also noticed it's a lot wider in the front than it is in the rear. This side, same way. So I'm probably, once I get it figured out to the length I want, I'm probably going to have to trim either the top or the bottom off. Haven't decided yet. But let me show you, I did quite a bit of trimming on the back, well, a little bit of trimming on the back piece. I had already trimmed it before, so I trimmed it down maybe quarter, half inch of edge right here on the back piece. I just sanded it down so it's nice and straight. The inside, I went ahead and did the same thing, trimmed it down so that it fits in. All you're going to see is this line right here when I glue them together. I had to trim it here. This piece was quite a bit longer, and then I had to trim it down here. I left some return edge here all the way up to here, and then I had to get rid of that return edge because the armor actually went at an angle more, so I had to get rid of that. Once I glue it together, I might try to fill it in a little bit better. But it looks decent right now. So I'm not really too worried about the sides here because the shoulder bell and all that, you're not going to really see that. My hard part right now is, now that I have it together, I'm going to go ahead and mark where I want these pieces. So it kind of gives me somewhat of a lineup. So when I put it together, I know pretty much where everything should be, and I'm going to start on one end and work my way all the way to the other side. It's probably not going to be fun. Hopefully I won't make a mess. Cross my fingers. And then one thing to add, on this side right here, it was warped really bad. I had to heat it up, and then I kind of popped it in there. I have the tape on there now. That's what it should look like. You can see here there's a little bit of a gap right here. There's really no gap here at all. There's just a little bit here, so when I had to bend it, it kind of warped it just a little bit. But if I didn't bend it, it would have never fit in here the way it is. And this is kind of what it was doing. So without the tape, it was sitting kind of like that. And then I just had to bend it in. And then I bent it in, and it was actually able to sit in there. But like I said, now it's got that little bit of a gap here. So once I glue it down, I'm just going to have to put pressure on both sides, and hopefully I can get rid of that gap. So that's what it's going to look like. What I might end up doing is leave the tape on and just start with one side, and then slowly, or just take all the tape off and slowly work my way down. So hopefully I don't ruin this piece, which I'm not going to necessarily ruin it, because I can always scrape the paint off with my fingernail, sand the paint off, and rebuff it out. So just because you get paint on there doesn't mean it's ruined. Hopefully this thing is ready. I'm going to go ahead and poke my little hole in there just to make sure. Okay. And the hole is a lot bigger. I've been having to cut it because the glue likes to get inside, so I got to nip off just a little bit. So it was a lot longer, now it's a lot shorter. And I still have quite a bit of glue. I still have about, and when I first started building this, it was full, and it looks like I'm about right here. So I've only used just a tiny bit, and this is only 2 ounces. I have used a lot of this though. This is probably about halfway. Alright, so I'll go ahead and spray this one side. And then I'll go ahead and glue this other side. Hopefully the glue will come out. There it goes. I'm going to push it in there. Hold it just like that. Hopefully this will be a good start, and I can just keep on going all the way over. So, let me glue it on the inside too, just to keep it so it doesn't break on me. And like I was saying earlier, I'm not going to rely on just the glue to hold this in, because as you can tell here, there's really not a lot of room. This does bend quite a bit, but the more you bend it, the more that glue is going to break. So don't rely on the glue at all. I wouldn't. I did it on my first one, and that and the Bondo cracked. So I won't do that again. Alright, let's see. Okay. Now the fun part is splitting this just enough so I can get some glue in there, and then also spray it. So I might have to use my little, where I put it, there it is. I'll have to use this to kind of shove that glue in there just a little bit more. Get rid of any glue that came out. Spray it. And push it down and hope for the best. Hopefully this time I only get glue on the inside instead of the outside. Alright, so everything's still lined up. It's actually very close up there. There's a little bit here, but I mean, you can see the crease, so that little bit of lift isn't going to matter. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it as far as I can, and then use that middle piece to push the glue in further. Okay. And then I'm also keeping this at an angle so it doesn't drip where I don't want it to. Alright, let me spray it now. Go ahead and scrape it just in case there might be some glue there. Okay, now keep on going. Go ahead and glue it just a little bit further down. If I put some more glue right here. Shove the glue down some. Alright, now I'm going to spray it. So I'm pushing it from the top and the bottom. That way, hopefully all of it glues down into one. That looks good so far. It's just this one piece, like I had showed you guys earlier. I might be able to push it. Oh yeah, I could probably push it down. I'm noticing just a tiny bit right here that didn't quite glue down, but again, nothing real bad. Alright, so now I'm gonna get the rest of this. Go ahead and spray it first. I'll attempt to. Okay. Try to keep them separated so I don't get the spray where I'm going to glue. Whoa. Alright, it's dripping down where I need it to. And spreading it out just a little bit. Just a tiny bit more right here. Okay, here we go. piece is definitely, I could probably use some kind of clamp. I might just do that. Get me a clamp real quick, throw some glue in there, and then clamp it down. So that's what it looks like. Not too shabby. If I had a second person, probably would have came out a lot better. But with one person, you can definitely seal it down. If you want to put some silicone in there or caulking, you can do that, or ABS paste. Or if you want to, Bondo and then paint it. But again, I'm not going to paint it. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I'm just going to get me some clamps real quick, so I can just pinch that one side down. So with the KB, this side is going to have to be heated. It might distort it, so you're probably going to have to use a clamp right there. Let me get a clamp real quick, then I'll glue it. Okay, now I got a clamp. Let's see if this clamp will work, hopefully. Okay, let me tighten this a little bit more. Oh yeah, there you go, just like that. Oh yeah, that'll work perfectly. Put some glue in there. I don't have to put any of the accelerant, just glue. And I'm going to hold it this way. There we go, much better. Hopefully none of the glue gushes out everywhere where I don't want it. Oh, I do see a big old spill down here though. At least it's in the inside this time. I'm going to go ahead and glue the inside. This is a precaution until I actually put whatever I want in the inside. Okay. Okay, so I have everything up here that I've done so far, and I just realized I'm not quite done with the gluing. I still have to glue these little bits on. Won't take long, but I got to sand them too at the other side so they could adhere better. Once he gets, or we figure out what we're going to use for gaskets, I got to put the knees in there. So I haven't done anything but just trim and sand the knees down. So I still need something for that. Same thing with the gloves. Once he gets his gloves, easy as putting Velcro on both sides of the gloves and then gluing those on. So that won't take long. The belt, still have to get a belt and the pouches before I can put any of the brackets on, which again, that won't take long. And then I have all the brackets that I need. I'll probably, instead of using Chicago screws, I'll just rivet them on the belt. It's just easier that way. And then I have this belt, so I'll know pretty much exactly where all the boxes go, so that'll be easy. And then also, I think it's, yeah, both of the boxes, the inner boxes have to be painted black, and then I'll put a strip of just a strip of ABS on both sides so that I can glue it on after I paint it and rivet it on. Then I'll just glue this on, kind of like how I did the ab. And then I also totally forgot, I still have these 3 things to put on. well actually 4. The 2 for the shin, the 1 for the thigh, and then the 1 ammo for the holster. So that again, it'll be a little bit more complex. I might make a video once I get to that, sanding it, curving it, and then filling it in with plastic on the inside. Or I might do like what I did with the ab buttons, and maybe make a bracket and then just screw it in a couple spots, like this one, screw it in here, or I should say into the thigh, and then when this goes on it, it just glues onto the side. I'll probably do something like that. But again, I'll have to do like I did with this one, put the screws going outward, that way it doesn't interfere with your legs. So the ab plate is done, or the ab plate and the kidney. And I seem to have misplaced the cod piece, so I have to find that and then do the cod piece, which again, the cod piece is just trimming it down and sanding it. I still need to put Velcro on this and then put on the little greebles, but that's easy. Same thing with this side, Velcro. Here, I still need to trim this out in here, and then just put a piece of nylon, trim these out, and put a piece of nylon, and then put the little greeblies in here. Also with this one, I need to paint this black, this part black, I think, yeah, and then a circle, the whole circle, or there's pretty much an indentation, the circle, so inside that indentation, same thing with this one, there's an indentation, so inside that circle, and then there's an indentation right here, so I need to paint that black. The forearms, I need to, I know there's one up here, can't remember if that's good. Let me check real quick. Yes, so I need to paint this one and then this one black. Again, that's easy. And then, I can't remember if this is painted. I think it's painted. Let's see. Yep, I need to paint in here too. And then I also need to, it does seem quite a bit big, so I might have to, once he comes over, I might have to trim from the back. I don't really want to. I might end up just trimming both of them together to where they meet up, because that's the last thing I want to do is trim one side, and then when it goes to come together, it's in order to make this line up, then it doesn't line up down here. So if I have to cut it, which I don't have, maybe an inch, half an inch on each side, I can trim it to make it smaller. But we'll see. Once he comes and then I put the whole armor on him, then I'll know if it needs to be trimmed. I tried these on. These actually fit me pretty good. And he's about the same weight, maybe a little bit bigger than me. So these fit me good. These definitely fit me big. But if you put them both together, they look proportionate. I'm not going to really worry about it until he comes over. And again, I have to put these on him, and then I have to put this on the thighs. Which, like I said, I'll probably just do the same thing as an ab plate. This should be done. Let's see. No, I might have to use two of them, because it's either that or I might just leave it, because that gap is, that's kind of big, but this side's really close. This side is up just a little bit. It's close here, close over here, and it's a little bit up there. So I'll see. It might be kind of too hard. Might not be able to. I have another clamp like this. I really have to put pressure on it that much, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going to leave it. Maybe I'll just do a little bit at a time and work my way up. This one I need, if I'm not mistaken, I think I need these two and definitely the circle, or if it's just a circle, I can't quite remember. I don't normally wear this, the Nobles one, that often. It's not very comfortable. I don't like the gaskets, but now that I have new gaskets, I might start wearing it more. I still need to get the top ones done, and then the leg ones, I haven't messed with those, but they should be just as easy as the arms. It was these that are a little bit harder, but I already seen them, what my seamstress next door, what she did, and it looks really good. We just got to come over here, pin it up so that it fits me, not real tight but not loose, and then sew it together here, and then they'll be done. Shoulder bells are done. I do need to strap them, so once he comes, I will see exactly where his shoulders are here, and then I'll put the little, I'm going to use a piece of plastic this time instead of a piece of aluminum. So what that plastic will do, pretend my fingers are plastic, it'll hold it, the shoulder bell will hold onto that plastic, and then I'll just have two straps coming to two straps coming to two snaps, and then just snaps in and holds right there. So no matter who's wearing the armor, if you're a smaller guy wearing this, it might sit lower, but with that strap it'll sit exactly where it's supposed to be. So I got that little thing to do. Still got to put the greebles on here. Still got to put the snaps for the belt, the one strap, and then the snap in the cod piece. So just little minor things, but all in all, most of it is done. I just need to find the cod piece and just do the cod piece, the strapping, do these 4 little pieces here, and then wait for the belt to come in and the gloves, and then the painting, and then drill out the chest and those little, I think I did it, yeah, I did it here also. I cut it right in here. So just those few little pieces, which I'll just take a Dremel them out small, and then use a file and make them just a little bit bigger, sand them nice and smooth, and then just put the elastic or the nylon in there. It actually looks, I kind of like how the nylon, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the nylon back here. I like how it looks. It gives it a pretty cool look. I guess the way that, like the knit or something in the nylon, it makes it look pretty cool. So I like that part of that. And I think looks like mine are they're all different sizes. I think this side's a little big, and then I went smaller. So I'll have to do a little bit better next time. Maybe I'll just use a pencil and mark them. One thing I do notice is where you put these greebles here, it's not quite as pronounced. And then same thing with these, they're not as pronounced. So it might not look as good, but we'll see. But this actually looks pretty decent here. And then I'm going to be cutting out the part where it didn't really suck in that well. So it should look good. I'm not going to use that resin piece right here. It makes it heavy, and it's just too much work, way too much work. It could be done, but I did it in one set, and oh, I did not like it. This is just so much easier, and to me it still looks good. Alright, thank you. Until the next issue.